Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. Sorry for coming out so late. Today kind of got a little bit hectic. One of the things that I do like about when I put out, at least this video a little bit later, is that I get to watch it on Paramount, as opposed to watching it on, let's say, YouTube or, one of those other sites where, they're worried so much about copyright and stuff like that that they start playing the music, that weird music that they play in the background, and you can't really hear the characters as well. So it's nice actually watching it on a clear screen and not all grainy and not having to worry about like the music in the background. I don't know what's going on with as far as like people trying to put, like the episodes on like YouTube and stuff like that, but it does not come out good at all. Um, I'm gonna be honest, Lauren was annoying the living hell out of me. Now I understand that, her husband's missing and this, that, and the third, but here's the thing. When Michael comes back, she's still sitting there laying in the cabin like, well, why didn't you sit there and do this? Why didn't you not do that? Why did it take you so long? I'm like, lady, you got your husband back and you're still whining. Like, are you kidding me? And granted, yeah, she did apologize afterwards, but, you know, Kevin was pretty much only doing what Michael instructed him to do. And for her to sit there and lay into him after he got back was ridiculous at best and just annoying at worst. So it was literally like a chore to sit there and sit through that scene. Even when she apologized, I was just like, all right, lady, whatever. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I originally wrote it down as Judy, and I was like, you know what? For the sake of the review, and for the people who are watching it, let me sit there and get her name right, even though, like, at this point, I don't really give a damn what her name is. Um, Michael wanted to sit there and tell Victor what he knew, and after her whining and insisting, like, no, you can't go, and yada, 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 I'm like, lady, are you his wife or his mom? Can you calm down for 5 seconds and let this grown ass man be a grown ass man? Could you do that? So when Michael gets down there, she is not that far behind him. Like, ugh, I just roll my eyes. And of course she's still whining like she's still sitting there blaming Victor, like, oh, you got my husband and this, that, and the third, like he doesn't have a brain. But after all that annoyance, he tells the story what happened. How he pretty much got locked up on Trump charges and stuff like that, on these crazy, ridiculous charges, and he was able to, charm a guard by giving him some legal, help as far as like losing his house or whatever, and what he can do to save it, what he can do to sit there and save it. So in exchange, he let Michael go. He got down to the docks, and eventually he got to Kevin. Um, and at that point, they got back to General City. And that's pretty much what Kevin was not there telling Chloe when Chloe was not asking what was going on. She was whining a little bit too, but it wasn't as bad as Lauren. Oh my goodness, that woman is a piece of work. And she really is a piece of work. I honestly tell you, I had a good day. I had a good day. I wasn't actually at work. It was a great day. It was some stuff that kind of kept me busy, but it was a great day. She just annoyed the living hell out of me. Um, Anyway, that's pretty much all Kevin did was, catch Chloe up on everything. So weird actually seeing him again. It was so weird seeing him again. Um, I haven't felt this confused since, well, a guy named Michael Easton was on Port Charles, and then he was also on One Like Live. And when Port Charles was ending, he jumped ship to One Like Live. So, like, for a couple of days, I would sit there and see him twice. I'm like, And this was worse because they actually had him wear a beard and it just anyway. Um, so let's talk about Victoria for a minute. So Victoria is pretty much telling Nikki, Victor, and Nick that, listen, I'm gonna go back to my husband, I'm gonna handle everything, I got everything under control, this is for the company. I got this. Don't worry about it. And here's the thing, she's trying not to give out too much because she doesn't know if the room is bugged or not. So she's trying to say as little as possible, but you have her family that is reasonably concerned. I want to make sure that she's not, making no mistakes. Oh, you're going back to him because, you still love him and you don't believe us and this, that, and the third. And so they're going on and on and on. And how even Victor's not there getting loud and yelling, like, no, this is my company. You're not going to sit there and do this to my company and yada, yada, yada. So after Victoria actually calms down the room and get Victor to sit and listen for 5 seconds, he's on board. They're more or less on board. They're like, listen, we don't like it, but we're gonna sit there and trust you to handle whatever plan that you got going on. We're gonna trust you to sit there and let it run its course. Of course, Nick is sitting there whining and complaining. It was another person that just kind of annoyed me today. And the sad thing is that again, I'm not even in a bad mood. I'm not in a bad mood. I actually had a great day, but somehow, on one hand, I get it. On one hand, he's concerned about his sister. He wants to make sure that she doesn't fall into the same traps because let's be honest, history has not been on her side as far as, um, pretty much trusting the wrong men and specifically trusting Ashlyn and just believing everything that, he says. So on one hand, I get it. I understand where Nick is coming from. On the other hand, after about 2 or 3 seconds, it was getting kind of old. Um, but more or less, that was the scene with Nick and Nikki. Um, Now Ashlyn gets a text at some point when he's sitting there talking to Abby, trying to kind of be like, "Hey, all right, it was nice seeing you. Kind of got some stuff going. Oh, you wanna show me baby pictures? Oh, okay, all right, cool. That's good. All right, you wanna sit there and talk to me about your husband? Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. I kind of want to just kind of sit by myself, but you're being so friendly. Okay, all right, fine. I didn't know that she was Newman. I think I remember somebody sitting there saying that though. Anyway, he gets a text, basically sitting there saying that Michael has gotten away. So at this point, I was like, bro, you need to get out of Dodge. You need to get out of Genoa City. Maybe I don't know, hang out at Bold and the Beautiful for a little bit or somewhere because the walls are closing in at this point. Right, the walls are closing in. So after Abby leaves and kind of fills Ashlyn on what's going on with Baby Dom and Chance and everything like that, because she still supports him going back to work, which is stupid. Okay, it's you know what? No, it's not just stupid. Okay, it's irresponsible. I'm not even going to sit there and dumb it down to just being stupid. It's just irresponsible. But for some odd reason, they think it's a good idea, and so does his therapist, which at that point he should probably get a new therapist, but whatever. Um, so at some point, Victoria does get down there. And, she's like, you know what, listen, maybe you're right about, getting away from the family and the influence and everything like that and just kind of just regroup. Let's go to Tuscany. Um, let's strategize. Let's let my father think that he won. And, he'll show his hand. Now, at first, Ashton was like, do you think that's a good idea? I mean, running away? I mean, don't you think it would be better for us to stay and fight? I was like, so now you want to stay. Before you couldn't wait to get the hell up out of town, but now you want to stay. So Victoria convinces him to leave to go to Tuscany. And he's like, all right, fine. And you know, it's the first time since I saw the Ice Princess that I'm like, you know what? You are you're not wallowing. You cry, you had your moment, and now you want to sit there and turn the tables on Ashlyn. And you know what? And I'm probably going to regret actually giving her a compliment because I feel like down the road she's probably going to wind up disappointing me. But for right now, I'm with it. I am with it. I am with the Ice Queen on her plan to take down Ashlyn. And I really cannot wait to sit there and see where this is going to go. Honestly, tell you the truth, this is probably one of the highlights in this episode. You know, because let's be honest, I'm not exactly a fan of Victoria, and she has on multiple occasions annoyed me. But maybe because it's late and it's at some point I'm probably more tired than I'm letting on. That does not excuse my being annoyed with half of the stuff in this episode, but you know what? If this is a way for her to sit there and redeem herself and be like, listen, I cried, I got angry, I got used, and you know what? I'm still coming for you, and I'm with it. I am with it. So I really cannot wait to sit there and see where this is gonna go, and I'm just yeah, I'm actually surprised because I still sit there and think about the fact that she kicked her own brother to the curb at her own wedding, but I'm gonna just move forward and look forward to seeing where it's gonna go. I don't know why, but I feel like that's about it. This episode was long. This episode was long, even for it being on me watching on the streaming service. It was like 37 minutes long, and I know it probably had a lot to do with commercials. This episode was long, and not really a lot happened. I mean, yeah, you had Chloe and you had Kevin sitting there kind of debriefing her on everything, and then, well, of course, you had Michael that was pretty much debriefing um, Kevin and Chloe on what was going on. Well, pretty much Chloe and Lauren, what was going on. And then you had the time where Victoria had to sit there and try to, well, first shut her family up and kind of convince them that, hey, listen, I can't really say much, but let's just sit there and have a plan, and I need you to all, trust me on this. That seemed like it took a lot of time. And although I understand it, and it is more realistic, it was a long time. It was a long time. And partly was like, could we kind of just move this along a little bit? Just a teensy bit faster? Can we do that? Could we try to do that? Yes, maybe, no, okay. Um, but I'm gonna sit there and say that I kind of got the majority of this episode down, and yeah, I think that's actually pretty much about it. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. I know this came out super late, but I really do appreciate everyone who is watching it between now and tomorrow. I am entirely grateful, and I really do sincerely mean that. So thank you. With that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.